Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to this episode of DV Live. I am Amanda Acom, the marketing coordinator for Desert Valley's Federal Credit Union. If you haven't done so, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down there and like and share this with your friends so we know what content you want to see, what topics you want to hear about, and more. I know a lot of people have been talking about scams, so...
Oh boy, that has been something.
Big thing. So, but today we're going to talk about fun stuff.
Yes.
Hello, Gantt. Welcome.
Hi there, Amanda. How you doing?
I am doing.
All right. I like to hear that.
I'm in the holiday spirit. I mean, trees are up, lights are up. We're going.
I am so excited to be in the holiday season out here. I haven't been able to get my Christmas decorations up yet, but just down the road, there is a big Christmas tree. It's like got these spinning lights. It puts on this whole light show. I can't see the whole thing, just the top of the lit up Christmas tree. And it's just like this rotating rainbow of color.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's in the park or if it's in a neighborhood.
I do know we have a couple of neighborhoods in town that go all out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to tell you about that if that's your jam.
Yes, please.
Before we get into all of that fun stuff, can you tell people, since you are new to our team,
Yes.
welcome,
Thank you.
who you are, what you do, and a fun fact about yourself?
Okay. I am Gantt Nicholson. I started working here at Desert Valleys about 3 months ago as a teller. And fun fact about myself, I always struggle with this question just because...
Everyone does. I will let you in on that.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I'll say I've broken the same exact bone twice, several years apart.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've broken my collarbone right here twice. The first time I was about 2 years old, I was trying to jump across a chair into my grandma's lap,
Oh, my goodness.
and I missed. And then I don't remember much after that.
Okay.
The second time, I think I was 7 years old, and I was playing a game I called Monster with my dad,
Okay.
where he put a blanket on top of him, and he would shake around, and I would try to hold onto his back.
Oh.
And he accidentally bucked a little too hard, and I went flying up into the air, and I came down on my shoulder, and I broke my collarbone again.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
The fun time about that one was after I'd been injured, the first doctor we went to said I was fine, and I just had a bruise. And then my uncle, who was a doctor, looked at it and said, "No, he has a broken collarbone. I don't know what that guy's talking about."
That's a very big difference between a bruise and a break.
Yes, it was. Don't know what ended up happening with that guy, but not fun at the time.
I mean, I hope he's retired.
I hope so too, if I have to admit. But that's all the way out in Missouri, so I'm not going to worry about it anymore.
Perfect. Let's hope he hasn't moved.
I hope not.
So what brought you out here?
So I actually came out here to take care of my grandmother. About a year and a
Same
half.
grandma that you broke your collarbone?
No, that was a different grandma. I've got 4 grandmas at this point.
I was going to say, we're going to put you in bubble wrap if it is, and her.
No, not anymore, thankfully. Forgive me, I've just got a little bit of a cough.
No, you're fine.
So I actually moved out here to take care of my grandma. She got COVID about a year and a half ago. And she'd been saying, struggling a little bit, trying to get things up and running. And I came out here just to help take care of her and get all that stuff taken care of.
Right.
And got moved in for a little bit. Turns out she was feeling more independent than she had initially let on. So I
like grandma.
Oh yeah, she's great. Very feisty sometimes, but in a good way.
Love it.
And so I came out here, moved out here to take care of her. She's doing pretty good right now. I still go check in on her and go for the Thanksgiving, see how you doing, make sure you're not trying to get into anything
She's not deep frying any frozen turkeys.
Exactly.
She's not feeling too feisty.
No, not that feisty. But just to check in on her, and got my own place out here, so moving right along.
Nice. Awesome. So what are some hobbies of yours or interests?
I would say my biggest hobbies, I love tabletop board games.
Okay.
I love anything like that. My biggest thing.
Have you ever
Yes.
played the game Skull?
No.
So my husband, his sister, and my brother-in-law and everything, we always play game night. So we play like Sushi Go is our always go-to. It's a huge fun. But we just started playing Skull.
Okay.
Super simple, like deception game. So you get like 4, they look like coasters almost, and they have either flowers on 3 of them, and then a skull on 1.
Okay.
And you put down a card, or 2 or 3, or all of them, whatever. And you have to tell if someone's bluffing or not. Like you guess like how many skulls are on the table.
Interesting.
It gets very, very competitive.
Oh, that reminds me of a game I used to play online a long time ago on a website called Neopets. They had a game called Cheat, which was
Okay.
all about trying to say, for example, you roll a number of dice and then you say, I only have 3 6s in here when you actually have 5 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's very similar.
Yes. And so you try to pretend like you're doing better or worse than you are to try to convince everyone else, and they can try to call you out to get to get wins on that or take your money from it.
Yep. So it's been very fun. My husband's threatened to leave me a few times. I've booted him out of the game by, calling him on his bluff.
Oh, yes.
But no, it's a fun time. And like, we're starting to get into tabletop and board games and all that stuff. So
Excellent.
I know.
The other big tabletop games I enjoy playing is Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, things similar to that.
Okay.
Originally, I played a lot back home. Although since moving here, I haven't found a local group to play with yet, but I'm trying.
If anyone out there has any leads, drop them in the comments.
Yes, please.
Or come by the branch and tell Gantt. So I heard Dungeons and Dragons, I know the general overview,
Yes.
but I heard it's like a whole universe, like a deep rabbit hole of like all these things that you can get into. And I was like, this sounds scary.
You can go as in deep as you want to or not as much as if you want to.
Okay.
Some people, so when I played, we had like a whole world that we played in. The characters were all super in-depth into it. And then I played in another game where it was, you're a party of adventurers looking for treasure, go have fun and see what happens.
Really?
You can do it as in-depth as you want, or if you want to just be silly and have fun, go for it. There was one time we all played musicians and came up with terrible improv songs to play.
I love that. I'm here for that.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So, I mean, I'm glad to know that because, hearing the overview of it, I was like, no, I can't. That seems very scary.
So, you can definitely play very in-depth. There's also other games very similar to Dungeons and Dragons that are much less complicated, a lot less rules that make it easier to get into.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think of one that I recently played. Oh, it was called Monster of the Week. So if you've ever seen shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay, the viewers know I love my Buffy.
Yes.
They just took Angel off of Netflix, and I was on season 5 and
No.
episode 2, and they just took it off, and I was like, and I have to buy it, and I'm like, I ain't buying it. Yes, sorry guys. I will rewatch Buffy for days.
I understand.
And I'm definitely Team Angel, not Spike.
I can agree with that.
I mean, you can disagree. Some people do. And I'm like, just because he's British, guys.
Just because he has the great bleached hair doesn't mean he's
The top ramen hair of that era. I love it. Justin Timberlake with his frosted tips and everything.
Yes. I couldn't remember what it was called, but I just remember watching Buffy and seeing Spike and just the frosted tips like you described it.
And how does it not move? Like how much gel or hairspray, or is that like a fake hair piece?
I don't
they
even
just
know anymore.
plaster on?
I have to guess it's real hair, but they use like hair cement or something instead of hair gel.
I don't know. If anyone knows, please let me know. So, but monster of the week?
Monster of the week.
Okay.
So you get to play any number of characters. There's a lot less rules. It's all about making the story as you go along. And kind of how in Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the early seasons, you have vampires, you have like a werewolf or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You forget if anyone's big Buffy fans, I'm sorry, it's been a few years since they watched.
Oh my goodness. The worst one for me are the silent guys that like float through the town and
Yes.
I know.
Or another great one is Doctor Who. How you might have one episode with the Daleks, you might have one with the Cybermen, the Weeping Angels. Basically, the idea behind it is there's a monster every week, and you guys got to team up to beat it somehow.
Oh, okay. So it's something different.
Yeah.
Keep it interesting.
Exactly. And so you can play things like if you want to be the chosen one, or you want to be some mundane person, or you want to be the girl who discovered she has magic powers to fight the monsters, you can do it all.
Interesting. Now I'm going to get on this whole rabbit hole. My husband will be like, what is this now? So switching gears, what's some of since you are not from here locally to Ridgecrest, what are some of your favorite foods, restaurants?
So right now, my favorite restaurant is probably Saigon Flavor. It's so tasty.
Mm-hmm.
I've really been enjoying that one. I've also been going over to Lugo's Grill a lot.
Oh, their waffles are so amazing for
I've
breakfast.
never had their waffles.
Mm-hmm. Their waffles.
Oh, I need to go there for breakfast.
Is it the Belgian waffle? The big waffles. Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
And what else? They have a chili verde omelet. That's really good.
Ooh.
I know. Yeah.
That sounds really tasty too.
I love food.
So do I.
And how is Ridgecrest different from where you're from?
Far less trees. So I came from Illinois, in the middle of the Midwest, Corn Belt, everything.
Okay.
So
Did you say Corn Belt?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have always been used to, one, everything being flat, and two, everything is grassy or full of trees or corn or soybeans, things like that.
Okay. So like fields of, I guess, farmland?
Basically.
Okay.
Fields of farmland interspersed with trees and tiny forests.
Okay.
And coming out here, everything is a lot more brown, which isn't bad. Brown, red, orange colors, all that good. It's very warm out here as well.
Yeah. So, okay, were you out here for the height of summer?
Yes. So I moved here in, I want to say, late June.
Okay. Because, yes, you started right after I started maternity leave.
Yes.
So I didn't get to see you till.
Yeah, it was for quite a while. I remember everyone talked about Amanda. And I was like, I never got to meet Amanda.
I was this big illusion. Go look at YouTube.
Yes.
But yes, so you've been here for the nice brunt of triple-digit weather.
Yes, I got to be here in the heat bubble and all of that fun that it entailed.
Yes. So how was that for you?
It was not as bad as it could have been. It was so before coming here, everyone was saying, "Oh, it's the dry heat. It's not going to be as bad," and it wasn't. And it was. When it got up to 115, it felt like 90-degree weather and high humidity for me. It was just so hot.
Like after you get to a certain point of temperature, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Like 100 is literally 115 in my book.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But other than that, it was very windy, which was actually quite nice. It felt very nice, especially walking around at night.
You're probably maybe the only person in this town that congratulates the wind.
I'm sure I'm going to grow to be very vindictive against it.
Every time fair weekend comes up, I'm like, does anybody else want to volunteer for the Destruction Derby?
I wish I had gotten to go to that this year.
It's fun. I mean, Desert Valleys is the main sponsor for the Demo Derby. So next year, I'm going to sign you up for that then.
Awesome. I can't wait.
But it's also always awesome to go out there and see everyone and the amount of work that they put into it. So far, and now it's on record, my husband should be actually driving in the Demo Derby for Desert Valleys next year.
Ooh.
I'm very excited to see a 6'4" man in a car smashing other cars.
That's going to be fun.
Like, especially he's like, oh, I think they have a certain class that's smaller cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is literally going to be like a clown show. But no, it's a great time. But when the fair comes in town, if you haven't heard yet, everyone dreads it because of the wind.
Okay. I'm going to try to remember that for next year.
Oh, every time without fail. I mean, Paul Sutton's sitting over here in the corner, and I think he's shaking his head too, knowing that when it gets windy, we know the fair's coming in town.
I will say the wind has got on my nerves once, and that was because I had the windows open because it was warm in the house, and I decided to open them up. I had the screens, no bugs, it'll be fine. And then I stepped out of the room for 5 minutes and came back in, and my entire desk was covered in dust.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then you start to find little dust trails when the windows are closed. And I'm like, oh, so this isn't sealed all the way.
Yep.
So, yeah. Earlier this week, it was windy, and my son's baseball net in the backyard blew over.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out there, like, trying to put it all together, do it his own thing. And he's like, I can't stand the wind. I'm like, well, welcome to Ridgecrest.
Yep.
So, coming here to Desert Valleys, did you have financial institution background?
Yes, I actually worked for 4 years at a local bank in Springfield, Illinois called Marine Bank.
Okay.
It was much bigger than it is here. We had about 6 or 7 branches scattered around the city that I came from.
Wow. Okay.
And then we had a sort of main location where for example, all the people in our back office here, we had probably 3 or 4 people for all of those roles.
So, and also that was a bank, not a credit union then?
Yes.
Okay. What differences have you noticed?
So one of the biggest changes for me personally just coming over here was and this is a me thing, switching over from the word customer to the word member. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten more used to saying the word member for all of our members here at the credit union, and also just getting used to this sort of the big differences between how we as an institution work for our members versus how we did at the bank. Whereas at the bank, it was a lot more, these are customers. We tried to...
Transactional in a way?
Yes, it was more high-paced, but also if someone has something that they need to work on, we get them out of the way as fast as we can, get their stuff done, and move on.
Okay.
Whereas here at the credit union, I've noticed there's much more of a focus on trying to get things done for the member and then seeing, hey, how can I help you with X, Y, and Z things as well. I don't have to rush to get someone out the door because it's not a transaction. It's more, hey, you're a member here. How can I help you?
It's an experience versus,
yes.
Yeah. That's one thing coming from, I used to be a member prior to being staff.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt like a number.
Yep.
So, and I think that's great that that's how you're seeing it. And hopefully I've seen it, you are embodying it. So
yes.
That's great.
It has been a very nice switch for me, and I'm trying to very much be as good as I can for everyone who comes through here.
There you go. That's the best we can have. As long as we don't scare you off either.
No, you haven't so far.
Oh, so far. There's room for improvement. So now that you've been here for a few months, are there any favorite products or events or experiences that Desert Valleys provides that you seem to like the best? I know you volunteered for our movie in the park night.
Yes.
So different things like that. And we do weird different community events.
I loved doing movies in the park. That was so much fun.
Good.
I was primarily serving water, popcorn, things like that, just trying to move from one person getting cotton candy to hand to the kids and then switch over to grabbing boxes of popcorn and then get a bottle of water and hand them over. And it was great. I love just getting to see so many people out here for the movies, getting to see a big community event. It was stuff I never really got to do back home, so I was super excited about that.
Really? So is that different than as well from your previous job at the bank?
Absolutely. I know we did have community events once in a while, but it was more sponsorships, and usually by the time I even heard about the event, we would have the volunteer slots would be filled up.
Okay. Well, definitely lots of opportunity here.
Yes, I'm very excited to keep doing more.
Awesome. So, well, thank you so much for being on today.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to maybe having you on again. We'll maybe dive into different products and stuff with you.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. And thank you everyone for watching today. And I hope you have a great and happy weekend. Bye, guys.
Have a great one.